Test 1 2 3. Hi guys, welcome to another Blender tutorial. If you're a new subscriber, I upload every video, 100 subscribers. Today I'm gonna show you two node trees, basically how you can place your textures on some procedural stuff that you're gonna create. It's gonna be very simple, but I'm gonna do faster the intro, okay, cause it's fucking late. So if you are a beginner, just watch previous tutorial. So let's start. Select this cube by left click, X delete, Shift A on the mesh, just plane, S and scale, and go to the edit mode, click in tab, right click, subdivide, open subdivision, subdivide by 100 times, tab to go to the object mode, change the engine to the cycles and lower the denoiser, add denoiser right here, okay, and choose viewport. Now I'm gonna change this timeline to the shader editor, and I'm gonna select my plane and click new. Now I'm gonna duplicate this principal BSDF because I'm gonna show you how you can place two textures. So Shift D, and I'm gonna mix them together by mix shader. Now go to the materials, of course settings, and choose displacement and bump, whatever. Now Shift A, I'm gonna add this displacement, connect displacement to the displacement, and I'm gonna add brick texture, okay, just to show you. I'm gonna connect right here to the height, and I'm gonna add maybe scale 1 just to show. This is just fucking tutorial, okay. And basically I'm gonna show you two trees how you can create some factor maps right here to this mix shader, okay, because we mix in two textures, and I'm gonna make maybe two colors different just to show you how it's placed. So I'm gonna just make it yellow and maybe this fucking blue just to show you right here. You can use whatever textures you want, of course, and my suggestion, just play around on those trees. So this is important, okay. I'm gonna zoom in, Shift A, just add, wait guys, textures coordinate, wait guys, right here, textures coordinate and mapping, okay. This is to build, like I said, if you are mixing two textures together by this mix shader, we're gonna create factor map. So textures coordinate and mapping goes from normal to mapping. Shift A, add ambient inclusion or whatever it's called right here, and mapping goes to normal. And you wanna add basically color ramp, and connect color ramp to this ambient inclusion to the color ramp. And you basically play around on this color ramp, and you have the first factor map, and you can add more to this. You can of course add some texture to add some pattern to this or whatever. So this is one, and Shift A, you wanna add geometry, and basically you wanna copy this ambient inclusion and mapping, okay. So geometry from normal to the mapping, and this goes to the ambient inclusion, and you can add maybe color ramp or maybe max range, whatever you want, okay. You can go to the right here and max range. I'm gonna duplicate maybe color ramp just to show you. If you wanna have more control, like I said, and add this to your shader, procedural shader, just add map range, because you can connect the values, okay. So I'm gonna show you the results. I hope it's not gonna lag in. Okay, this looks like shit, but wait guys, I'm gonna adjust the value on the right here, mortal size, just add right here 1 0 1 2. As you can see, I have blue texture and yellow texture right here as on the sphere's fucking factor map. If I'm gonna just drag this, my position of this fucking yellow map is changing, as you can see, yes. And I can use mapping to adjust basically the scale, the position, yes. Using the scale you can play around on those textures too, on the placement. And this texture is good for mixing some I'm gonna show you. Maybe you wanna add textures and you wanna add to create some kind of mountains or whatever. Maybe you wanna add Vanoi texture. And you can plug right here Vanoi texture or whatever texture you want to have a little bit more control, as you can see. Or maybe you wanna add mix RGB. Wait guys, oh, I make mistake, whatever. You wanna add mix RGB and connect right here. This goes right, wait guys, this goes right here. Oh my god. Normal goes to the color or maybe to the factor, whatever you want. And you can use textures and right here Vanoi texture and mix to add some pattern, if that makes sense. And this goes to the mapping. I hope you get the idea. You just add in this Vanoi texture to add some pattern. And as you can see, I just adding pattern to those two textures. And this is good, like I said, to create some mountains. If you have some mountains procedural and you just adding two cool textures and you just mixing them together, like snow and, like in the previous tutorial that I make, like snow and fucking rock or whatever. So there is that. And you can play around, like I said, on mapping and right here. And I'm gonna show you the second factor map. As you can see, there's nothing changed, but if I'm gonna just play around on the fucking color up, the same kind of stuff. And of course you wanna toggle only local on this ambient occlusion, and you wanna play around on the mapping too. Okay, so you can right here maybe scale 0, right here scale 0. As you can see, I just created the buildings. Basically, if you want to create some kind of buildings or whatever shader, you can place two textures using this factor maps, and guess what, you can mix those two together. And you can add more to this. Like I said, this is just idea, simple idea, but you have control on the mapping, how you want to place the textures on the factor map right here. Yes, using the textures coordinate normal, mapping if you want, ambient occlusion, color ramp. And you wanna add more to this if you want some textures to have some pattern or another stuff. I built a little bit more complicated trees in the previous tutorial, but I can show you the results on those tutorials. But I hope you get the idea. Okay, this is just base. This is just fucking base, and you can, if I'm gonna just play around on the fucking, I don't know, right here, as you can see, I added some pattern, and I take, and I have basically, I can place some glass or whatever, yes, window textures, and on the ground I can place another texture, yes, some ground texture, if you get the idea. So this is for procedural stuff, factor maps, two factor maps, and you can mix those together and you can add more to this. Okay, so this is the idea for tutorial. It's very simple, but it's useful if you want to create some procedural shaders. Use those two factor maps and play more with this. Okay, because you can add, like I said, pattern using some different textures, and you can play around on the mapping basically, and on this ambient occlusion, and even on this color ramp. If you wanna, like I said, have more control, use map range. Use fucking map range and play around on the scale and whatever, and you can connect those dots to your procedural shaders. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you get the idea. This is not that complicated. Just build factor maps to this to mix shader. So this is the trees, base on the tree basically. Thank you for watching. See you on the next tutorial, guys.